Welcome back, and first up, as you can see, Jeff is coating the inside of the header tank with the Jeffco, and there you can see the fittings are all in there, and those switches there that trigger when the fuel gets low at various different stages throughout the tank. And there's the closeout panel as well, getting another coat to finish that off, so just to make sure it's nice and sealed nicely, not going to have any leaking of the diesel through it. And here's Zach and Devon working on that right winglet plug, giving it its first round of sanding, and there you see Devon's just patching some of the little nicks and holes and stuff that are usually get when it comes off the mill there. And there's the second one in putty on the mill, and almost done there actually. So you see you've got the ball mill on there, and using that to sort of work in underneath the edge of that leading edge. Because you can't run that with a flat mill because just the angle's too obtuse there. And here's the header tank again, and you see Jeff's gone and bonded it together there, and just a bunch of clamps around there to hold it nice and snug while that all cures. And you can see all the fittings and stuff in there now. So last thing is just to trim around the flange just to bring it to sort of a 1-inch dimension. And here's the left winglet plug now, so that one's finished on the machine and it's been sprayed with the guide coat there, so that's ready for its first round of sanding, and that came out well. Didn't have any problems with that one. And in order to make the tank look neat and tidy, Jeff has also painted it on the outside, and there you can see the flange has been trimmed back, so just the minimum required there, about 1 inch. So yeah, it looks good there. It's all painted up on the outside as well. So that one's pretty much done now. And this is that plug that you're looking at a minute ago, and so that one's already got a quick round of sanding, and there it's got the primer on it already, so that one moved along super fast. The guys were just all over that one when it came off the machine, so good progress there. And this is the one for the right side, and you can see they've got it sort of leaning up against or sort of sitting on its side there, so it's easy enough or easier to work underneath the flange there for sanding and just getting it all sorted out there. And Jordan, who's been working on the engine for us a little bit, was in again on Thursday, installed the serpentine belt and also that aluminum tube there that you see in the upper left, which is the heater return. So more progress happening on the engine there. And we had a little bit of a low spot here in the transition from the vertical part of the winglet into the curve there, and I think it was actually in the CAD. It was just difficult to see, and so Jeff was just basically filling that and sort of blending it back in so it got the right shape there. And here's that left side one, so that was the one that was just primed that you saw earlier, and had the guide coat sprayed on. Now Zach's sanding on it, so it's already second coat go around and sanding, so these things have moved along really quickly. And there's a final look at the header tank with all the fittings installed and all obviously closed out and that, so that's basically all ready to go now. The only thing left is just how we're going to mount it. It'll just be some bolts holding it on to the aft bulkhead, but we won't be doing that until we sort of set the aft bulkhead in place and at least get everything mocked up with the gear brackets. And back on the engine, one of the things I hadn't addressed yet was the pipes going from the radiator there that you see highlighted in and out of the engine for just your main water returns. And I was thinking of doing it with regular kind of radiator hoses, but wasn't happy with the bends or whatever that were going to be in there, so I just decided just to do it out of aluminum pipe as well. So here you can see I've set it up in the CAD there, and now I've ordered the pipe for that, or the bends, so I can just basically cut it the same way as I did all the stuff for the turbo. So that'll be next week that materials will be arriving. And here you can see Mark, who does our FEA, you may recall, who's been working on the retraction arms there for the nose gear, and here you can see this is basically how it operates there. So again, just a hydraulic cylinder to push that, and that's basically lifting it up. So the right hand side here would be the nose of the aircraft, the left hand side would be the tail of the aircraft. So that's how it's all going to work, and that'll all be out of 4130 tubing, and soon he'll be finished with that, so I'll be able to start ordering those materials. And over to the belt drive that you've seen before here. So there's a ton of different bits and pieces that are off the shelf that I've been slowly ordering for this. So I have basically everything when it starts to come together. And here's kind of my spreadsheet with all the links to all the different websites there where you can order the different bits and pieces. You know, there's bolts and rings and seals and all sorts of different stuff in there. So that's been keeping me busy, but I've pretty much got everything ordered now. So, and half of the stuff's already come in. So it won't be long we'll be able to start putting things together with that. And here you can see I've broken it into 3 pieces. I've got the lower drive, the upper drive, and the tensioner. So there's some of the mill pieces, the one in my hand there, and then in the bottom here there's, you know, different bolts that hold it together and bearings and things like that, the stuff that's come in already. And here's the parts, or some of the parts for the upper one. So there's the main kind of housing that bolts up to the engine mount, and there's a couple of seals there, and there's, you know, other things in the bottom of that box. And then over here, this is for the tensioner, so a bunch of different little bolts and bits and pieces for that. So I'm just breaking into those 3 things, going to make it a bit easier. And lastly, we really lucked out this week. I just happened to stumble upon this on the web. So what's highlighted there on the left of this picture is this adapter plate with a pulley and drive and stuff that's for the governor for controlling the prop. And we were actually thinking that we were going to have to create our own one of these things, which would have been the plate and the little spline drive there and the pulley and belts and things like that. And it turns out, you know, this company up in Canada has basically done exactly what we wanted, and it's available to actually buy that. So I've actually ordered one of those. And as a backup, we may end up, if for some reason our belt drive doesn't work out for us, for any given reason, that these guys, you know, have a gear drive here that could potentially work for us as well. So that's kind of a fallback plan that we have, or we may even actually get them to mill the or, you know, create the belt drive for us. Anyway, that was a real stroke of luck. It's going to save us a ton of time and a lot of money, so we're really happy about that. So that's our update for this week, and thanks again for watching.